Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird, here to do another haul video for you guys. This is going to be my holiday horror haul. Now, yes, I did do a separate holiday vinyl haul episode because that, frankly, I had saved up enough vinyls to go through that video was long enough as it is. So I decided to separate it out, the vinyls from the actual regular haul stuff. So I was going to show you guys and see what y'all thought and get your opinions and see if any of you guys have this stuff or not. You know how it is. I'm excited to show off anything horror that I get. Now, there was a couple of things that were non-horror, but it's really just a couple things, and one of them is a follow-up kind of to another video that I did. So that I'll start with. Why don't I start with that? And that is this. I recently did a unboxing of the Earthworm Gym Indiegogo campaign where they sent a big hardcover, a big making of hardcover. And I decided to seek out, I found out actually in the making of book that there were 3 Earthworm Gym comic books that I'd never gotten. So I went ahead and picked those up. So Earthworm Gym 1, 2, and 3. I did not have these. I did not know that they were done by Marvel under an absurd line that they had at one point. So that's the first issue right there. And then the second issue right there with Bob the Goldfish. And then the 4th issue with Peter Puppy, it looks like, in the back of Peter Puppy. So I'm excited to read those. I did read that big hardcover, and it was really, really cool. It's the origin story of Earthworm Jim. I think there's a bit of that in this, too. So I think that's the full origin story. Anyway, I'm excited about that. And piggybacking on that, also in the art book, it talked about a book called Bigfoot Bill, which was apparently the previous Kickstarter campaign that he did before Earthworm Jim. And now Bigfoot Bill 2 is going to be the next Kickstarter campaign that he launches in February. And so I had to eBay the first Bigfoot Bill hardcover. Now I did get a slightly damaged version of it where the front cover doesn't quite cover the inside flap. But that's all right. It discounted it like $20 for me. But, you know, Bigfoot Bill is very Earthworm Jimmy. It's a Sasquatch that actually has Cthulhu, the Cthulhu monster that he wears as a suit. So it's pretty funny, and of course it's got the Doug Tenopple art style. And so I really enjoyed. I already read this too. I enjoyed it. I read the comic book that came in the last set, which was really just a preview of Bigfoot Bill 2, so I'll be all over that as well. So I'll eventually do an unboxing of that, but luckily when I got this on eBay, it came with the trading cards, the patch, and the bookmark as well. So that is that. Now, the next thing that I got, piggybacking on those, were a couple of more graphic novels. There were 2, if you watch the video, I was going through the making of it, I was like, there were a couple moments, I don't know if I said it out loud or if you could just see it in my eyes, but when I was looking at the timeline of Doug Tenopple books, after showing my library of them, I noticed that I had not gotten a couple of them. I didn't know about them, and the first one is called Cardboard. So I wanted to get this, and again, these are horror enough to cover, so adventure begins when Cardboard comes to life. Cam's down-and-out father gives him a cardboard box for his birthday, and he knows it's the worst present ever. To make the best of a bad situation, they bend the cardboard into a man, and to their astonishment, it comes magically to life. But the neighborhood jerk Marcus warps the powerful cardboard into his own evil creations that threaten to destroy them all. So maybe not exactly horror, but, kind of a fantasy that could kind of pass. But, again, by the creator of Earthworm Jim, so I was all about it. And then, of course, Bad Island, which is all about creatures. So this island is up to no good. When Reese is forced to go on a boating trip with his family, the last thing he expects is to be shipwrecked on an island, especially one swarming with weird plants and animals. What starts as a bad vacation turns into a frantic adventure as the castaways must find a way to escape while dodging the island's lethal inhabitants. With few resources and a mysterious entity on the hunt, each secret unlocked could save them or spell their doom. One thing Reese knows for sure, this is one bad island. So that's what Bad Island looks like. And it does look fun, a bunch of creatures. And again, typical Doug Tenopple, Earthworm Jimmy style. But it's his own unique style. No one else does it like him. And I like him as a result. So, all right, continuing on. I'm going to kind of speed through these till I get to the Blu-rays. This is where I start to get a little more horror-ish. So this is called The Eyes of the Cat by Mobius and Jodorowsky. It's mostly wordless, you know, but it's beautiful artwork, and I'm a big cat guy, and honestly, after reading it, I was a little bit bummed because it's not the best story for a cat lover, but still really beautiful artwork and really neat. So I figured I'd show that off. Ridley Scott, the one giving a credit on the back. It's interesting, but as wordless as it is, and considering what happens in it, I don't know. I might not have bought it in retrospect. But now, the other couple non-horror things are, I'm a big fan of another YouTube thing. It's a short animation regular program called Simon's Cat, and I really, really love it. And so there have been a number of books made by them. So there was the Simon's Cat book, the Simon's Cat second book, the Kitten Chaos book, and then Off to the Vet book. So they come out sparsely. There's not that many of them, and he's been going since, I think, like 2010 or 11. But he's got millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube, and they're just like 2 to 5 minute short films about this guy, Simon's Cat. And I actually have been following them for so long, they actually advertised that they were offering this plushie, and so I got the plushie because I love Simon's Cat. So much so that I actually had to get their newest book, It's a Dog's Life. And if you're a fan of like Garfield type stuff, this is that, but very pared down. It's just simple. This one is all about how Simon's Cat interacts with the dogs of the neighborhood. So it's pretty fun, but yeah, so I picked those up too. Won't spend too much time since they're not that horror. Now, the rest, oh yeah, the other non-horror thing is I got a pretty sweet Active 2 watch for my Galaxy. So now I can measure my steps and actually hopefully try and lose the weight I've been intending to lose for quite a while now. So I'm just waiting on the protective glass to come, then I can bust that bad boy out. I'm sure you'll be seeing that in videos going forward. I also was able to, I got a credit to a comic book store as a present. So one of the things I picked up was a 16-issue series that I had never heard about, but this is by Vertigo. Vertigo is a sort of an independent arm of DC Comics, or it was before it shut down. And wait, no, I don't think it's actually shut down yet. I think it was mostly shut down. I don't know. It really slowed down. But this one is from 1999, and it's called Flinch. It was a 16-issue series, and as you can see at the top, it is a Vertigo horror anthology. And just the nice thing about this is the art, or the talent involved. If you guys know Jim Lee, if you know comics at all, you'll know Jim Lee. He's one of the biggest artists in comic books right now. Bruce Jones has done much horror writing, including one of the best Hulk runs. Richard Corbin is a outstanding artist. Frank Quietly is renowned in the industry. And so this is a 16-issue series. Again, Bill Sienkiewicz. He's done a ton of stuff. Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo, who did 100 Bullets. So the talent involved in this, Garth Ennis and Kieran Dwyer. You know, everyone knows Garth Ennis. He created Preacher. He created, what else? It's trying to out Preacher, The Boys. So, you know, Garth Ennis is in here. It's just an amazing series. I'm not going to go through all of them. Joe Lansdale that created Bubba Hotep. So there's a lot of really cool stuff, and I have never heard of it, but still, it's a horror anthology, which you guys know I love very much. So I'll be excited to go through this. It did enter into the 2000s before it stopped. That's disturbing as hell, that cover. Oof, I'm excited about that one. But look at the variation. I mean, it's 3 stories per issue with 3 different creative teams every single time. That's the Richard Corbin artwork that you might be able to recognize. He doesn't typically, I don't know, it's kind of an odd picture for him, and then finally this. But yeah, I'm excited about Flinch. I had no idea about it. I just searched horror comics on eBay, and it was one of the comics lots that came up, so I was excited to get it. The other bit of comics that I have, there's 2 left. One of them is this set of 5 Marvel Hulk books. Now, why am I covering Marvel Hulk in a horror haul? Because this is called the Immortal Hulk. And this book, this is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Hulk in Hell, by the way. Volume 4 and Volume 5. And Volume 6 is coming out, I think, in April or something like that. This book is still going on, and it is widely regarded as the best book that Marvel has been putting out since it began. I picked up this first trade, and I read it just this past week. Or no, 2 weeks ago it must have been, because I ordered this over the holiday. And I liked it so much that I had to order all of the volumes that were out. So I haven't read the rest yet, but just so you guys know, this is a horror book. What this tackles, why it's called the Immortal Hulk, is this. The idea is that there have been numerous times in the comics continuity that Bruce Banner has died, and the idea is that all of those times actually happened. But they make the Hulk a werewolf in this, essentially. Every time that Bruce Banner dies, as soon as the sun goes down, his body stays dead all the way up until the sun goes down. Then when the sun goes down, the Hulk comes out again. And then once the Hulk comes out and then transforms back into Banner, Banner's back alive again. So this is all about that. And in this trade alone, this 5 issues, he gets killed a couple of times, aggressively. So it actually explains away a lot of the continuity of how the Hulk died in the past, but it explains why. Bruce Banner can be killed, but the Hulk cannot be. And so it's a horror take on the Hulk. He finds out things that need to be done, and even though Bruce might bite the dust, the Hulk knows what happened and he sets things right. So it's a issue-to-issue anthological story about the Hulk with that all in mind. And so far, it is awesome. I'm excited to read the rest of it. If you're Hulk fans, high recommendation. The last graphic novel bit is, again, maybe horror adjacent to some, but I considered it horror enough that I reviewed both seasons on the show, and that was Gravity Falls. And this is a really cool hardcover, big hardcover, by the way. That's my hand, and I don't have small hands. It is a hardcover version of Journal Number 3. So much so that it was actually written by Alex Hirsch, and it's got every page, and it starts off being narrated by Stan, Grunkle Stan, and then at one point Dipper takes over. There's some blank pages, and then Dipper takes over, taking all of the notes and everything, but there's codes that you can literally decode in the book. It goes through all of these different things that exist in the world of Gravity Falls up in Oregon, and it is just, I read the first few pages, and I'm super excited about it because it's immersive. It reads like a diary. And then when Dipper takes over, I'm sure it's going to take on a different sort of thought process. But I'm excited about it. It was fun. If you like Gravity Falls, big recommendation on this one as well. That's going to bring us to the Blu-rays and the movies. All right. Now, some of them I ordered because, forgive me, it's hot in my house. I don't mean to keep wiping my forehead here. But I don't really get comedies very often because it's hard to make me laugh when I'm not in a theater full of people necessarily, with a lot of the Hollywood comedies that come out. I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, but the Hollywood comedies, man, they hit and miss a lot. So I don't watch that many of them. But a couple of them were on a deep discount around the Christmas season, so I picked them up. So I picked up Blockers, never seen it, but it was only like $4. So I'm going to check that out. I do love Ike Barinholtz. I think that's what that guy's name is. So I'm excited about that, just because he's funny as heck. Game Night, I've heard, is funny. Never seen it, but I've heard it's worth it. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan. Rachel McAdams, okay. But Jason Bateman makes me laugh, so I'm going to watch that. And then I've never seen this one before, but The Big Sick, with Kumail Nanjiani. And it's a story about him and his wife Emily's it's like an embellished version of their actual story. So I hear it's fantastic. I'm excited about it. So those are the ones that, well, this one I guess might not be considered horror. This was on sale. I have never actually watched this all the way through, but after a recent episode of Rick and Morty this season where they heavily parodied Akira, and the fact that Fuego has been talking about Akira for years and years, I was like, okay, maybe I should just pick it up. Again, any of these that I pick up and don't end up liking, I can always do a giveaway or something like that. So I'm excited to watch it, though. I do like good anime. And to that point, I finally picked up a Blu-ray version. All I've had are janky DVDs of this. But I finally picked up a nice Blu-ray presentation of Claymore. I don't know if you guys know Claymore or not, but it is a really awesome monster anime. It's all about a organization of female hunters that hunt down monsters throughout, all the land. And it's about one specific Claymore that doesn't know, that's kind of, you follow her as she goes through the country killing monsters while there's a little kid that she has to kind of look after. It's very Mandalorian. It's very Lone Wolf and Cub. It's very spread, if you're familiar with comics. And it's really, really excellent and worth your time if you haven't watched it. I had to pick it up to have it in my collection. The next one, I finally got my delivery of In Search of Darkness. I did back this on Indiegogo, and it took them a half a year extra to deliver this when they said they were going to deliver it in the summer. I finally got it at the very tail end of December. So I'm excited to finally watch it. It's a, documentary all about 80s horror. I hope it turned out as good as we all hope. But we'll find out eventually, and I will do a review once we do. This is another one that was on deep discount. I have never actually watched it, but I like Katie Sackhoff, and I don't know, the artwork is really cool. It's very reminiscent of House, so I wanted to give it a try. So for the amount of money, I went ahead and picked it up. This one was actually an alternate on my top of 2019. I really enjoyed Itsy Bitsy. Some people thought that it wasn't horror enough, there wasn't enough spider. I thought it was evened out and the story played out as it needed to. And I really appreciated it. I enjoyed it, so I wanted to pick it up. I also have to share it with Fuego so he can watch it. Now, there's only 3 left and then we're done. But these are some big ones, and mainly because 2 of them are big sets and one of them I had never heard of, and it seems like a big miss on my part. The first one, though, is the awesome 3-disc set of Maniac with the 4K restoration. This is a disturbing, disturbing horror movie. If you haven't seen it, they did a remake with Elijah Wood just a few years ago, and this has probably the most graphic gunshot kill of any movie in history, because Tom Savini set it up, and not only that, Tom Savini himself was the victim of the gunshot, the shotgun blast to the face. And it's amazing, and I saw this massive Blu-ray set and I was like, ooh, that's pretty, I gotta pick that up. Next up is another one along the lines of The Prowler and The Burning, these 80s or 70s or 80s slashers that I've just never seen. This is another one of them, and it's called Pieces. This is another big 3-disc set that I ended up picking up, but I have never seen this, and some people say it's the best chainsaw movie since Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I have never, ever seen it. Yeah, it comes with 2 Blu-rays and a CD, so not sure what's on the CD. I'm guessing the soundtrack or the score or something, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've never seen this, so at some point this year, you're going to get a review of some of these classic horror movies that I've never watched, and I am really excited about that. The last one, I only picked up because Fuego told me about it when he was over here filming one week, and that is Cannibal the Musical. Had never heard of it, was not on my radar by any stretch, and yes, it looks cheesy as hell. It's the 13th anniversary 2-disc Spadinkle edition, apparently. Here's what you need to look closely at. It's directed by Trey Parker, co-creator of South Park. So this is what they did before they did Basketball and Orgasmo. I'm not sure if Matt Stone was a part of this too. Oh yeah, new interviews with Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Jason McHugh. So I'm not sure what role Matt Stone had in it, but yeah, I have never seen this. It's refreshingly ludicrous, the New York Times says. It's a trauma movie, but I've never seen it, and it is done by the boys from South Park. So we're going to have to cover that at some point this year as well. So that's going to do it for the Holiday Horror Haul from 2019. Thank you guys for sitting through it. If you have any of that I haven't seen, let me know how it is. Whether it be Akira, whether it be Pieces, whether it be Cannibal the Musical. If you've seen any of those, let me know how they are in the comments down below. Don't spoil them, but just let me know how they are. Was it money well spent or not? Let me know in those comments. If you didn't know about any of them, let me know that as well. And any of the books or anything like that. Whatever interests you, comment down below. I'm very curious what tickles the fancy of everyone when they watch these. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe, and ding the notification bell to make sure you don't miss episodes going forward. While you're down there, click the link in the description box to become a patron. You can select movies for us to watch, and basically puppeteer us if you want. So thank you if you decide to do that. Thanks again for watching, though. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird, and remember, stay scared.